Everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa, and if you're new here, thank you for watching. And a little bit about me, I'm 53 years old and I do videos on health, beauty, and just life in general. But today's video is going to be all about how to choose the correct shade of Bare Minerals foundation. And actually this could really apply to any type of makeup because it's all has to do with understanding the warm, neutral, and cool undertones, both of the makeup that you choose and of your own skin. So I'm going to talk about some ways to help you figure that out. So just to demonstrate, I do have a couple of my own powder foundations, and I have two different varieties here. One is in the shade medium, and the other one is in the shade golden beige. And what you want to do, and this applies for any type of makeup, but a lot of times the name of the makeup or the name of the shade will be a pretty good indicator if it is warm, cool, or neutral. I went on the Bare Minerals website and there is a little quiz that you can do. It prompts you to ask, but then you have to know and you have to understand your own skin, like where you fall into it. And sometimes it might be helpful when I go through some of these suggestions on how to figure it out. If you ask one of your kids or your spouse or a friend or whatever, what they think in terms of which of these you fall into and which looks better. I don't have a cool tone of the makeup because I tend to not have cool undertones. I think I fall under a warmer undertone, and I'll explain why, and or maybe slightly neutral. But their medium shade, just like their light shade, and perhaps even their dark or deep, I forget which it's called, is probably falls in the more neutral spectrum. It doesn't have strong warm undertones, nor does it have cooler undertones. Obviously, warmer undertones, if you're not aware, is going to have more of the hues of a yellow, golden, orange warmth, versus cooler undertones have more of they're not blue, but that less like a blue undertone. And this applies to like paint and in the world of art as well. With makeup, oftentimes if it's a warmer shade like this one I have here, sometimes the name's a really good indicator. This is golden bisque, and so the term golden is often used, or it may say warm, it may say golden. And sometimes makeup brands will even label something as cool, warm, or neutral, just to give you a better idea. And if you're really not sure after all of these suggestions that I go through which you are, choosing a neutral shade's a really good strategy because a lot of us aren't strongly one way or the other. I mean, I tend to lean more towards warm undertones, but I think neutrals work well on me. That's not to say I don't wear cool undertones. I do. And we all do whatever we want. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a suggestion. But I do think when you choose undertones that flatter your skin type, you oftentimes will feel better, be like, oh, you look good today, or you feel good about yourself today, or maybe you notice you get more compliments when you wear a certain color or a certain shade. Same might apply for makeup. I always find that I get more comments on shades of lipstick when I choose those peachy undertones, which seem to complement my skin tone. So just a thought there. It is certainly nothing life-shattering or that important, but this is just one of those things. If you really want to get in the nitty-gritty and find something that complements your tone, maybe look at your makeup. Because I will say the one thing, if you choose the wrong undertone, for example, if you are very warm undertones and use a cooler based makeup product, more so, not so much like an eyeshadow palette, but more like a foundation, it tends to, like if you're warm undertone and you choose a cool toned foundation, it might look kind of ashy on you. It may not be your best look. Likewise, if you are cool undertoned, if you have those cool undertones and you choose a warm foundation, it's likely going to appear much more orange on your skin. So that is one thing to note. You usually can't go wrong with a neutral. So let's dive into other ways that you can tell your own skin which which undertone are you or which flatters you more. Now, there are plenty of apps out there and things online that you can do to determine it. But what I find with it is if it involves taking a picture and uploading it, it is so dependent on lighting, and it can make a huge difference on the results that you get. I experimented myself, and I have been spit out almost everything under the spectrum. So I think if you can do your own test of things at home that you have to figure this out, it might give you better results. And like I said, Bare Minerals will ask you on their website a series of questions. I will let you know, though, that then at the end, in order to get your perfect shade, they want you to enter an email address if you're okay with that. But that is one step. But they will ask you certain things that you have to be able to recognize about your own skin tone. A few ways you can tell. Are you warm or are you cool? Is your response to the sun. Meaning, do you tend to get pink or red? Or do you tend to get red first and then that leads into a tan? Or do you tend to tan? This can be a big indicator. So, and again, you're probably not all one end of the spectrum or the other, but if you tend to get more pink and rosy, you're likely more cool undertones. If you tend to get red first and then tan, that might be a more neutral undertone. And if you tend to tan only or tan easily, you're likely more warm undertones. I'll give you a personal example. I will get red if I stay out in the sun too long, but I do tan quite easily. But not only do I tan, I literally feel like I get yellow. Not yellow, but like golden. Like that is I get, if you put my skin up to like the rest of my family even, I have very much a yellow golden undertone. In fact, it's undeniable compared to the rest of my family. Whereas my husband gets very, very red and rarely tans whatsoever. It's red and then goes away. And my son kind of has the same thing. So they are definitely more cool undertone, and I can see that they also look a whole lot better in clothing with blue undertones. Not just the color blue, but even like a red that is cool undertone versus a very warm red, and etc. Another way you can tell if you tend to have warm undertones or cool undertones is obviously with clothing and color. Now, again, this is a personal preference, because if you like wearing a certain color, then you go do you. I mean, I'm not here to tell you not to wear a certain color, because I certainly like wearing certain things. And I think if you feel good in what you're wearing, then you keep on doing you. However, if you've been told, if you get compliments on a certain color when you're wearing it, that might be an indicator that that particular shade is enhanced by your own undertones. So again, the blue undertones are going to be complementary to cooler skin tones, and the warmer, the yellows, the oranges complement the warm undertones. However, this is where it gets tricky if you don't have the eye to detect the undertones of blue, because there is blue with cool undertones, there's blue that is neutral, and there's blue with warm undertones. Like, how are you going to figure that out? If you don't know, this is what I would suggest. Get a white shirt and a cream colored shirt or article of clothing or something, and hold it up to you, because typically this is a better indicator. Like white, like a stark white, usually is more complementary on someone with cool undertones, whereas an off-white or cream color might be more complementary to somebody with warmer undertones. The whole using color to determine undertones is a little bit ambiguous to begin with, if you ask me. Okay, similarly to clothing, you can determine by jewelry. Oftentimes, silver toned jewelry will look better on a cool toned skin, whereas gold jewelry might look better on a warmer tone. And of course, neutral can pull either off. Again, I say this with, yes, I have warmer undertones. I usually prefer to wear silver jewelry, so that's what I'll do. But that is just one of those things that can enhance your skin tone. And if you're warmer undertones, a gold jewelry, gold earrings, gold necklace might look particularly nice on you. I'll put it that way, okay? Whereas silver jewelry might really look especially nice on someone with cooler undertones. That's all I'm saying. The last way you can check is actually by looking at your wrists, particularly your veins. Now, I'm gonna try it. This isn't gonna work, I don't think, because I don't think you'll be able to see. Gosh, I don't even see my veins, so it's kind of odd. But if you, I mean, they're there. But if you look at your veins in your wrist, if your veins appear more blue, that's probably an indicator that your skin might be more cool undertoned. And the more green that your veins appear, you might be a warmer undertone. And if they're kind of somewhere in the middle, that's probably a more neutral undertone. One thing I haven't mentioned is hair color. I feel like this one is a bit all over the place because hair color can be altered. And so I don't know how much that factors into the equation here as much as truly your skin tone and using not so much your hair, but your skin, clothing, and the other things that I've mentioned as a guide. So those are the ways I have to quickly tell if you tend to be, have skin that is either cool undertone, neutral, or warm. And again, this is all, yes, it's subjective, but it can just make a difference if you're feeling particularly good about yourself, or you might be able to look like things might just look really good on you and you've not figured it out why. It might be like your favorite shirt just happens to be a color that looks great on you, and why not design your wardrobe around things that you feel great in, that you look great in, etc. But yes, I have all kinds of colors and things, but I just know certain colors I can wear better than others, and it also happens to be colors I often like to wear. And I hope you found a little bit of helpful advice in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.